Hi, my name is Jamie, and I am a student at Indiana State University, and today I bring you a presentation about lice. There is a link to a pre and a post test below and a printable brochure. Please make sure to take the pre-test before moving on in this video any further, and then when you're done watching it, go ahead and take it again to see what you learned. The printable brochure is shareable. You're welcome to print it and give it out to people or post it. It is free to use. My objectives today are to be able to identify lice, know at least 3 facts about lice, know how to treat a lice infestation, be able to check students or children for lice, and know preventable measures about lice. Lice are parasites that are tiny and wingless. They spread easily through close contact and sharing items such as brushes and helmets. Sharing the helmets is a little bit controversial. There's some people that say that you cannot get it from sharing helmets in sporting settings. There are 3 different types of lice. Today we're just going to be talking about head lice, which are found on the scalp. They're easy to spot under the nape of the neck or around the ears. They hatch from small little eggs called nits that attached with a substance that's kind of like cement to the hairs on the scalp. Eggs take 7 to 10 days to hatch. A lice or louse live about 14 days, and adults are the size of a sesame seed. The other types of lice are body lice that live in clothing and in bedding and move around onto the skin to feed, affect people who don't bathe or launder their clothes often. And then pubic lice, or more commonly called crabs, occur on the skin and hair in the pubic area, sometimes found on the coarse hair, body hairs such as eyebrows and eyelashes. But we are going to focus on head lice today. Some facts about lice. Lice have to have a host to feed off of or they will die within 24 hours. Lice are picky about their host, and human lice only like humans. They don't like to live on your animals. Lice have claws that assist them in grasping onto the hair shaft. That's why they're hard to get rid of. And lice have been around since the beginning of time. Some symptoms of lice are intense itching, a tickling feeling that's from the movement of the lice on your head, visualizing eggs or nits on the hair shaft, lice on the scalp, body, or clothes. You can sometimes see them jumping around. Sores on the scalp and neck and shoulders, and those are mostly from people scratching because it itches, or bite marks. Other items that can be mistaken for lice are dandruff, as seen in this photo. On the right is the dandruff, on the left is the lice, so they're pretty similar. Residue from hair products. Everybody knows that sometimes when gel dries or mousse or hairspray, sometimes, especially if you have dark hair, you can see a residue that can be flaky, kind of like dandruff or lice. Dead hair tissue, scabs, dirt or other debris, or other insects. Causes of head lice are head-to-head contact. This is basically ways to spread it. Belongings that are in close proximity, sharing items such as combs and brushes, or contact with furniture that has been contaminated by somebody that has lice. Ways to prevent are avoid sharing brushes and other personal belongings, avoid head-to-head contact, avoid sharing spaces where hats and clothing hang together, such as at schools when there's a big row of hooks and all the kids' jackets are in close proximity to each other. The lice can jump from coat to coat, and then once you put your coat on, then it can jump up onto your head and it has a new host to live on. This is how it's spread. Some over-the-counter products claim that they repel lice, but there's no studies that are proving that fact. A lot of people claim that tea tree oil and some other essential oils added to your shampoo will prevent lice, but there is no proven fact that it will happen. Some other facts about lice is not a reflection of hygiene habits or a lack of hygiene habits. Even the cleanest person may have lice. Lice spread easily and are very hard to prevent. Lice is a nuisance and time-consuming to treat effectively. Lice are most active when it's dark. Lice can survive in water, but it cannot be spread through the water. Chlorine levels in pools do not kill lice. And 6 to 12 million 3 to 11-year-olds are infested every year. It's a lot of kids. To diagnose for lice, you need to be able to visualize nits or lice by somebody that knows what they look like. Doctors can also use a wood light that turns the nits blue to make the lice easier to see. Ways to check for lice are to use a flashlight or be in a well-lit room to look at the nape of the neck and around the ears, using a tongue depressor to separate layers of hair to look for the nits or the adult lice. Dark-haired individuals, it's usually easier to visualize the lice because they're kind of a off-white, clearish color. So it's typically hard to see the lice and the nits on blondes. There's many treatments for lice. There's over-the-counter shampoos such as Rid or Nix that are specifically made for killing lice. There's also oral medications that are used usually only when the topical shampoos have failed. There's topical prescriptions that have pretty bad side effects, and they should be avoided in young children. And that's usually typically something that you do if you can't kill the lice with just the regular over-the-counter shampoos. It's a good idea to use a comb that's specifically meant for removing the nits once the shampoo treatment has been completed. This gets rid of the eggs so that they don't hatch and then re-infest the hair. You should wash all bedding and clothing that has been contaminated by the lice. If something is unwashable, placing it in a trash bag and sealing it airtight for some say up to 2 weeks, which is controversial because they say that lice can't live without human blood for more than 24 hours. But if you keep it locked up in an airtight trash bag for 2 weeks, you're going to get rid of the lice. Do a good job of vacuuming all floors and furniture that you cannot wash. And then wash your combs and brushes as well as like any hair ties or hair accessories that may have come into contact with the lice. Bedding and clothing should be washed at high temperature waters. There's some alternative treatments out there that are also not proven effective. Using mayonnaise or olive oil on hair and leaving it on there for 10 minutes has, some people say, works to kill the lice, but it's not a proven medical fact. There are also special machines that use hot air to dehydrate that lice, and these are used by professional lice treatment centers that are available in some of the bigger cities. I hope that none of you end up with lice, but if you do, it is not a reflection on your inability to have good hygiene. It is just a fact of life. And as the statistics say, 6 to 12 million children each year get them. So your likelihood of you or somebody you know getting it is pretty high. And good luck with getting rid of them. And it's better to try to prevent them than to have to get rid of them.